WrestleMania Bloodline plans have been revealed, plus an AEW Revolution title match has been announced, and has an AEW champion been written off? It's all in the Cultaholic wrestling news right now. I love you, Solo! Not my words, the words of Chewbacca. And the words of Jacob Fatu, who has been flipping brilliant, doesn't he, Andrew?
He's been incredible.
Love you, Solo.
Love you, Solo. Or as Solo's been saying recently, I love you, Jacob. Oh, my goodness. Could that indicate where things could be going in the future, Tom? Well, let's tell the people. So, according to WrestleVote's backstage Q&A, a Bloodline showdown is planned for WrestleMania 41. They say, I don't know what everybody's plans are, but I do know they're gearing up towards Jacob versus Solo. So after months of speculation that Solo is going to wrestle Roman Reigns at WrestleMania, they shift that to Jacob, and we'll see how that plays out.
I remember not too long ago where the idea was going to be that we get the Roman Solo Sikoa showdown at WrestleMania.
Yes.
And I think the thing that threw it was obviously Solo had a run as a main event guy, which some people weren't massively enamored with. And then Jacob Fatu turned up and was Jacob Fatu, and they went, nah, that's Solo done.
Yeah, not to mention, like, also everything that happened at the Royal Rumble, all the eliminations that included Seth Rollins, CM Punk, and Roman Reigns, and the little scuffle they had there. I think a lot of people think that maybe Roman will be going into perhaps a triple threat program at WrestleMania with CM Punk and Seth Rollins. So that remains to be seen. But they have been like planting seeds, I guess, on SmackDown. There was a bit of malfunction at the junction between Solo and Jacob. So we'll see where it goes.
I think the sky is the limit for a guy like Jacob Fatu. Yeah. And I feel bad just sort of just pushing Solo Sikoa aside, like that sheep in The Simpsons. No, not you,
not you,
not you. But Jacob has just absolutely grabbed every opportunity since he's been on the WWE's books. Yeah, and he looks and carries himself like a star.
And the fact that he's doing more promos now as well just goes to show that he is the full package too. Not only is he incredible in the ring and his mannerisms, but when you get him on the mic as well, you've got some gold right there.
Absolute gold. We'll keep an eye on those Bloodline plans. Speaking of Bloodline, we talked about the Bloodline earlier in the week, didn't we? Myself and you, we broke down the entire roster for WWE 2K25.
Yes, not only that as well, I believe 2K have released like the full, or at least almost the full list of matches that you can play in the Bloodline Dynasty too. So go and check them out if you can find them as well.
I hope when the game comes out, you will join me in making Peter Maivia NXT champion. I can't wait. Let's go to AEW from last night, Dynamite TE, as the fallout from Grand Slam turns into the journey to Revolution. We had the return of Orange Cassidy last night. He got in the ring for the first time in 6 weeks, and he beat Roderick Strong to earn a match against Konosuke Takeshita for his international title. Afterwards, Cassidy got a bit of a shoo-in from the Don Callis family. Kenny Omega turned up, and eventually they were able to see them off. I like them throwing in the potential red herring of Cassidy and Takeshita. Do we get Cassidy and Omega instead? We won't.
We won't.
But yeah, there's some fun to be had in that.
It was nice, and always nice to see Orange Cassidy back as well. He came back and he wasn't in his black clad denim anymore. It was back to the light blue denim, and I believe he had Jane back as well. The what is it, Jefferson Airplane, Jefferson Star? I can't remember what the band is, but he has that again rather than the Where Is My Mind by the Pixies.
His previous music is back once again. Yes, it's a bit of a reset for our boy Orange Cassidy. I think it's a welcome reset just to kind of re-establish and see where he fits into the picture. Also with Revolution on the horizon, like we say, some matches were put in place for that show last night.
Yes, MJF will indeed face Hangman Page at Revolution in singles action. That was confirmed last night. Obviously, recently we've seen a couple of tense interactions between the two. It built up to them being in the ring yesterday face-to-face for a promo. MJF spat in Hangman Page's face. Security, they tried to keep them apart, but they had a little bit of a blows, and then Christopher Daniels came out and said, no, you're a good man, Hangman Page, even though you nearly murdered me, but you're a good man. I think they did a really good sort of like build to Hangman kind of turning back to the babyface side of things again.
You tried to murder me, you tried to murder Swerve, and you burned his house down. But you're a good man,
You're a good
Hangman
man. You're a
Page.
good man.
I think the Hangman Page turn is something that we're quietly excited about seeing.
Absolutely.
We're getting there, aren't we?
Well, I joke about obviously all the things that he's done in the past that have been bad, but the way that they've built him and the sort of like redemption arc of him and his growth through his all the stuff that he's been going through has been really, really good. And I think these two together are just going to be brilliante.
They are going to have a lovely time at Revolution. As will Mercedes Mone. She's defending the TBS title against Momo Watanabe. So we heard from Momo. There was a clip from her backstage at Grand Slam where she announced that as a result of winning that international four-way at Wrestling Dynasty, she could fight for any title, and she's choosing Mone's TBS title at Revolution next weekend. Now, I'm intrigued to see this one. I think the chemistry for these two is special.
Yeah. Absolutely, yeah, for sure.
I want to see them. But also, when it comes to Mercedes Mone, as announced yesterday as well, she's actually going to be in the UK in April for the first time, stepping into a Rev Pro ring to defend her undisputed women's wrestling championship against an opponent to be named.
Oh, very nice. Do we start seeing her lose the belts anytime soon, or is she still going to be on her belt collector run for a little while longer?
I don't think we take that belt off her. I don't think we take it's the show's going down in the Doncaster Dome. It's Rev Pro high stakes. I don't think that's where she ends her title reign. I think there's no opponent announced yet. I'd love to see her in there with Rio.
Oh yeah. Oh,
that would be special.
Naughty boy. Yes.
Yeah, Emerson Jane I think would be a great fit for her as well. I'd love to see that. I think Danny Luna. I don't know how. I mean, obviously, I think that this is the thing now, because the wrestling world has changed so much in the last couple of years. Is that a lot of these people have fingers in other promotional pies. So obviously, Danny Luna being part of TNA, who are in a working relationship with WWE. Would we still maybe see that match against an AEW talent? I don't know.
It's something we could see Nixon Newell do something, which
That's
would be
a great shout.
Lovely indeed.
That is a great shout. Nixon Newell and Mercedes Mone.
Make it happen, please.
That'd be that'd be a good. But there's such a whole litany of great roster, great people on that women's roster for Rev Pro. I'd love to see Lizzie Evo in there as well.
Who wouldn't?
Lizzie Evo and Mercedes Mone would be Mone.
It would be.
But that's Rev Pro high stakes coming up at the Doncaster Dome in April. Back to Revolution we go. A few other matches that we already know about for Revolution that we'll just give a little nod to as well.
Yeah, so Will Ospreay obviously facing Kyle Fletcher in a steel cage match, which should be really good. Konosuke Takeshita will defend the international championship against Kenny Omega, obviously, unless Orange Cassidy gets in there instead and wins the title, but I don't know if that's going to happen, which will also be a really good match. And then Cope challenges Jon Moxley for the AEW World title too.
Intrigued to see Mox and Cope.
I'm wondering if they're going to do the whole... I feel like a lot of people have been speculating because of what went down at Grand Slam in Australia, where the Death Riders got the win. Do we see Cope pick up the title at Revolution, but then Christian cashes in his contracts straight after and scuppers Cope's?
Possibly, but then I would argue, if that is what happens, what's been the point of the Death Riders thing? What's been the point?
It's true because it initially did feel like it was supposed to be there to build the younger stars within the company and put them more at the forefront of everything going forward. It remains to be seen. Jon Moxley might retain, and then it might be Darby Allin down the line. Who knows?
Just still feels like to me that it's building to something. Mox still very much like, you don't understand, I'm doing this, there's wheels within wheels here, there's things happening you don't understand. So tell us then, let's go. Bring out Shane McMahon, come on. That's how we pay this off.
I don't know about that one.
I'm not saying, you have to do something now to make Moxley having that belt in the briefcase mean something more.
Yeah.
I think. Forgive me, feel free to debate in the comments down there. I think you need a little reason for why. So I think if Cope wins it and then Christian, and then you move that belt along, I go, well, what was the point of all the Death Rider stuff?
No, you make a good point as well. You do.
Putting that down there. Speaking of Death Riders and other AEW flavored business, let's talk briefly about Collision. Now, Collision hasn't happened yet on the telly, but it has happened in a building. So we know what happened in that building, and we'll tell you before it happens on the telly. But of course, you may not want to know what happened in that building before it's on the telly. So this is the part of the video where we say, for the latest wrestling news at any time, you can check out cultaholic.com. Case.
I love you, bye.
Yep. Collision spoilers ahoy! So, the Murder Machines. The Murder Machine batter some local lads. They call out the Hurt Syndicate. We're getting a beefy tag match at some point.
That is beef. That's Beef City Central.
Beef City. Amid contract negotiations for New Japan Pro Wrestling, we see Gabe Kidd making his AEW return. He beats the Butcher of Pat fame. And I don't know what... I think he's a guy that would fit in that roster. Obviously, he was very outspoken about that system.
Yeah, for sure. That's hard because, like, it feels like the New Japan audience are really getting behind Gabe Kidd now too, and I don't know if they want to lose him. I don't know if they. I think keeping him there for a little while is good, but obviously with the partnership that New Japan and AEW have, it's good that he can come over and do these things too.
One thing that we're not going to see happen is Chris Jericho lose the Ring of Honor title. He beats Bandido on Collision. Thank goodness.
Thank goodness indeed. And the Death Riders put the AEW Trios Championships on the line against Daniel Garcia, Matt Menard, and Angelo Parker. They retained the titles, but post-match, the Undisputed Kingdom and Cope ran in. Cope giving Pac a concerto to end the segment.
With the concerto being typically a very dangerous move, is this writing Pac off for a bit?
I hope not, because it feels like Pac gets written off all the... Well,
yeah,
it feels like Pac's gone
it,
for a while. I know,
it?
obviously, he's had health issues in the past, and I just hope everything's all right with Pac. But again, it feels like it's very much we see him for a bit, and then he's gone again. And I want to see him all the time, because I like Pac.
I know we live in a time where like there's obviously bigger and wilder wrestling moves all around, but I feel like the concerto is such a deliberate move. That it's designed that you don't see that person for a bit.
Yes.
Because of the nature of it, and I feel like maybe that's just taking. And if so, that puts the trios championships back in like limbo.
Yes, it does.
But I'm glad we got at least one title defense before we went back into limbo. We'll keep an eye on that one. I mean, obviously, if everything's okay with Pac, if it is the case that he's written off, we'll see how this story pans out as we head towards Revolution. And of course, for the very latest wrestling news at any time, you can check out cultaholic.com. Kiss.
I love you, bye.
Miss doing that.
No, it's been lovely.
Couple of weeks, been lovely.